another topic which is also one of the basic concept of macroeconomics, that is sectors in an economy. In class 10th also you have read different types of sectors like public sector, private sectors, primary sector, secondary, tertiary. But these four sectors are macro concept. These are completely different. Okay. So in macroeconomics, we have four sectors in an economy. First is household. Try to understand these four sectors are the one who is doing three important activities: consumption, production, income generation, distribution. These all economic activities are done by these four sectors of economy only. So all the complete population we have divided into four sectors. In the first sector, it is known as household. Now, who all are known as household in the economy? These are the one who are the owner of factor of production. They are always be rendering the services, and in return they are getting the factor payment. So anyone who is the owner, like we people are working, and that means we are rendering our services, and in return we are getting the income. So I am the I am the owner of factor of production, so I will be regarded as household. So anyone like labor will be also regarded household, because they are rendering the services and they are getting wages. Okay. So all those who are owner of the factor of production, rendering the services and earning the income, they are regarded as household, and they provide the factor services to firms. So always remember, we are the household or the households. Those who are having the factor of production, they provide the services to whom? To the firms. Okay. And now in return, what they get? These household, they get the factor income. So factor of productions are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Okay, they are all households, and they are rendering their services to firms, and these firms in return giving the factor income to the household. So factor income can be in the form of rent, because the land is the giving is rent. Labor will get the wages, capital will get the profit, interest, and entrepreneur will get the profit. So this is what known as factor income they are getting. Okay. And what they do with this factor income? They spend income on the goods and services. That means they are using this income for the consumption purpose. Clear, everyone? So this is what the household sector's role in the economy. Now let us see the another sector, that is known as firms. Now who all are the firms? Firms includes both private ownership and the government ownership firms. Okay. What they do? They hire factor of production to undertake production of goods and services, because firms, they do production, and for production they need the factor of production, and so they hire the factor of production from whom? Household. Okay, so firms hire the factor of production from the household. Now what they do? They sell out and generate the income. So how they generate the income? Firms, they sell the goods to the household. So this way they generate the income, and whatever income is generated, they pay to the factor of production, because they are using the factor of production. They have to give the factor income. So these firms, they are selling the output, and whatever income earned, they distribute among the factor of production. Okay. So this is the role of firms in the economy. Now third one, let us understand government. Now what is their role? Government is also regarded as the another sector, and government means general government. And what is their role? They receive taxes from household and firms. Okay, they receive the taxes from household and firms, and they also spend the money on provision of services that improves welfare. That means the main objective of the government is welfare. They are not working as for the profit motive. They are working for the social welfare. So government includes government as a welfare agency. Government can be a producer also. They also do the production. We have seen different government sectors, government industries are there. They are doing the production also. So they are accepting the tax also, they are giving the subsidies also, they are working for the welfare of the country, and also they produce the goods and services, and also they spend the money for maintaining law and order. So that means government is doing the production also, government is doing the expenditure also. Now the last sector of the economy is known as rest of the world, which is also known as external sector. Now what is this external sector? External sector includes all such activities which are related to export and import of the goods. We all know that we do the production, we do the consumption, we sell the goods, we purchase the goods, but not only in the domestic country, we also do it with the foreign countries through export and import. So we cannot ignore this external sector. We have the relationship with the rest of the world also. So this is the reason that the fourth sector is also involved into the economy, and this is regarded as the external sector, which is also known as rest of the world. What task they are doing? This we are doing this domestic economy undertakes transaction with the external economy by import and export. What is import? Import means purchase of foreign products by the domestic economy, and what is export? Means sales of domestic products to the external economy. So these are the four sectors, and they perform very vital role in the economy, and they are undertaking the activities of production, consumption, generating income, distribution. These all activities are done through these four sectors. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, just now I use the word factor income, right? I told that the households, they receive factor income. Now let us understand two more basic concepts of macroeconomics, that is factor income and transfer receipts, or it is known as transfer payment. So two terms you will come across in macroeconomics and also in the national income unit, that factor income and factor payment, transfer payment or transfer receipt. What does it mean? Factor income, easy to understand. We have been using that all the factor of production, they earn the money, they receives the income, and that income is known as factor income. Say for the example, labor is getting wage, so wage is a factor income. Land is getting rent, so rent is a factor income. Capital is getting interest, so interest is a factor income. Entrepreneur get profit, so profit is a factor income. That means all the money received or income which is provided to factor of production is known as factor income. Wages, interest, profits, they are known as factor income. Okay, and factor income is paid to whom? Factor income is paid to factor of production, they get. And who is the owner of factor of production? Household is the owner of factor of production. And very importantly, that this included in the national income. Whenever we calculate national income, these all factor income is included while estimating national income. So this is important, a feature of factor income, that it is always be included while calculating national income. Now let us understand transfer payment or transfer receipts. Always remember, apart from earning income by rendering service, sometimes we earn the income through which we don't perform any activities. No such specific activities we perform. Like we get the scholarships, so for or bonus or old age pension. These are the lottery. These are the income for which the household or anybody is not performing any services. They don't do any work, but still they are getting this extra income. So this income which is not in return of any services, those income comes under the transfer receipts or transfer payment. So for this, there is no production activity arises. Nothing is done, because Services only not rendered. All factor of productions have not done anything, but still they are getting. Okay, so this is what is transfer payment. Now this transfer payment not paid to factor of production, because factor of production they are getting factor of income. But anyone who is not doing any work and getting any extra income is known as the transfer payments. For scholarship to the student, old age pension, remittance received from the abroad, gifts, grants, these are all the category of income which comes under the transfer receipts, not in the factor income. And these are also known as unilateral payments. Why? Because it is a one-sided payment. Factor income, two-side payment. Household is working and in return they are getting income. But for transfer income, why it is unilateral payment? Because nobody is working here, but still they are getting income. That's why it is known as unilateral income. And it is always be included in transfer income. And always remember, very important point, that these are excluding from national income. So while calculating national income, we don't take into account these type of transfer payment. We only include factor income. Okay, so anything which you earn, these all things, these are never be included in national income. Only these things will be included in the national income, calculating national income. Why? Because for this factor income, the person or the household has performed some activities. But in transfer payment, no activity is only done. It is all extra income, unilateral payment. So that's why this is not included in the national income. Fine. So this is the one of the important concept of transfer income and transfer factor income. Now let us understand the circular flow of income. So what exactly the circular flow of income and what are the different phases of circular flow? Let us understand that. Now what is circular flow of income? Actually, circular flow of income refers to the unending flow of activities of production, income generation and expenditure. As I told you that there are three important activities are performed in the economy. So many activities are there, but three important activities: production, income generation, or also known as consumption, and expenditure. So production will be done. If production will be there, then obviously income will be generated because factor income will be provided to them. If income will be generated, definitely expenditure will be there. Now, if expenditure will be there, again production will be there. So this never-ending flow of activity is known as circular flow of income, and this involves all four different sectors of the economy. The producers and the households in particular, each activities in the cause as well as the consequences of the other activity. Now, say for example, first I'll taking production phase. Production activity. Now, what is production? I already explained. It deals with the production of goods and services by the producer sector. This means firm. If we study in terms of quantity of goods and services produced, it is the real flow, but it is a money flow if we study in terms of the market value of goods and goods produced. Money flow and real flow I will explain later on. Understand first production. So when production will be done, income will be generated. Okay, so if income will be generated, distribution phase will occur. Distribution phase will occur means it means the flow of income in the form of rent, interest, profit, wages paid to the producer sector to the household sector. Income I told, try to understand. Income generation. Income generation means how income will be generated. When firm will give all factor income, that means what he will do? He will do distribution. And that is the reason it comes under the distribution phase. So in the distribution phase, income will be generated. Whatever the producer earned, they will pay to the household in the form of factor income. Now in the distribution phase, what happened? Income is generated by household. Now what household will do? Household won't keep it with the income. They will do the consumption. So for consumption, what is required is expenditure. So they will perform the activity of expenditure in the disposition phase. And this phase deals with the expenditure on the purchase of goods and services by household and the other sectors. It's not only household is purchasing, government sector is also purchasing. Okay, rest of the world, they are also purchasing. So purchases can be done by all those three sectors. So in the disposition phase, which activity occurs? Expenditure. So this all three phases are interrelated to each other. I repeat, in the production phase, production activity is done. In the distribution phase, income is generated, and in the disposition phase, expenditure activity is taken up. So these three phases are the important phases of circular flow. Now we can understand. See, production is done by the firm. Now through production, what will happen? That generation of income will be done and it is distributed to the household. So income will be generated to the distribution of income of factor of production by whom? For firm to household. Income is generated. Now after income is generated, this will be spent for the expenditure. So expenditure is done. That means our disposable phase occur. Now if expenditure is done, demand will increase. And if demand will increase, again it will lead to production. So you can see that this circle has been made due to these three phases, that is production, income and expenditure, or you can say that three phases, production, distribution and disposition. And this is a never ending process. If income will be generated, definitely you will spend. If spending will be there, definitely production will be there. If production will be there, again income will be generated. So it's a never ending process, and it is a process which involves the flow of money and the flow of goods and services as well. It's not only income is flowing from one sector to another sector, goods and services also flowing from one sector to another sector. So this complete concept is known as circular flow of income. Now, in the next topic, we will read the circular flow of income in two sector model. You just see on the screen, one model is there, and you need to understand that circular flow of income, here we are using two sectors. That means firms, four sectors are there: household, government, firm, rest of the world. But this circular flow of income model is prepared on the two sector model. That means we have assumed only firm and household. And let us see what kind of relationship firm and household has. What kind of flow is occurring from one sector to another sector. So just check out this. I'll pay attention. Here this is the household and one side firm. Now what happened first? Household given the factor services to the firm in the factor market. Okay, factor services means they provided land, they provided labor, they provided capital. They are the owner of factor. I already told you. So they given the services to the firm. Why? Because firm need to do production, they need the service. So firm is taking the factor services from the household. Now after that, what is happening? In return, these firms are giving factor of income to the household. Because factor services, they are providing what in return they will get? Money. And that is known as factor income. So who will provide? Firm will provide factor income such as wages, rent, interest, profit to the household. This is one relationship. Now next flow you see, what firm is giving to the household? Firm is selling goods and services to the household, because here we have seen payment of factor income is generated. Income, after income generating, what household will do? Household will purchase goods and services from whom? firm in the product market. So these firm will give the or sell the goods and services to the household. Now what happened? What household will give? Household will give the payment for goods and services. It won't be free of cost, of course. So household will provide the payment or the money to the for purchasing goods and services to the firm. So here you can see that one-sided flow of goods and services is occurring, and one-sided it is occurring flow of money. So this side, if you will see, so this one, if you'll see, one-sided factor of payment of factor income and one-sided payment for goods and services. Both the cases, income is only involved. Please pay attention. Income is only involved. So this kind of flow is known as, children, money flow. Why? Because you can see that from firm to household, they receive factor income. That means money flow. And from household to firm, also firm receives payment. That is also money flow. So money flow represents the flow of money in the economy from one sector to another sector. And here our two sector model, we have firm and household. And the second way we have seen that one-sided goods and services are given and another side factor services are given. So this kind of flow is known as real flow. That means real flow represents the flow of goods and services, including factor services in the economy. So this red arrows, are you seeing these red arrows? So this red arrows showing the real flow, and this blue arrows shows the money flow. In the blue, you have seen that it's all money flow, payment of goods and services, payment of factor income, money flow. In the red one, factor income and goods and services. These are all real flow because it includes factor services and goods and services. So this is how that you can understand the concept of circular flow of income in two sector model. This one. And then after that, here we have seen what is the relationship, what kind of relationship flow this household and firm they are having. And then in the second diagram, we have seen the money flow and the real flow concept. Okay. So this is what the concept of circular flow of income in the two sector model.